Andy Roth from the Club for Growth just says the budget proposal is basically garbage. That's his word, not mine, and needs to be thrown away. Andy, why do you say that? Pretty strong language.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brian. This segment that you're having right now should be a big public service announcement with bright red lights flashing to the middle class. They need to be worried about three things. First, their nest egg, whether it's a 401k, an IRA, mutual funds, whatever. Because of Obama's tax hikes on capital gains, their value of their nest egg is going to stay down or go down even further. That's a big, big bad sign about this budget. Number two, if they work for a small business is going to get hit because a lot of them file taxes or have income over $250,000 a year. So they're going to get hit. So if you own a small business or are employed by one, you're either going to get taxed or you're going to lose your job, possibly. Third thing is that if you work for a corporation, corporations are going to get taxed on their foreign income. So a lot of people who work for corporations are going to get hurt. Corporate America is already hurting right now with this recession, and it's just compounding it even more. So this thing is garbage through and through.
Well, let's talk about some of the specifics. Some of the headlines were raising business taxes, the ending of some tax breaks, and a levy of new taxes, by the way, on oil and gas in the Gulf of Mexico. Do you see any positives in this at all, Andy?
Well, I don't know if there are any positives in the budget, but I do know who's going to benefit, and that's lobbyists. It reminds me of that KFC slogan back in the 80s, it's finger licking good. I mean, they're just chomping at the bit, ready to get their hands on this money because government's going to have more money and they're going to be giving it out, and the lobbyists are going to have a lot of say in who gets to have what.
You know, what's ironic is that we always talk about this middle class, and in fact, what is the middle class, right? We defined it on the 10 o'clock show last week, a professor saying, well, basically, these are the people in it. You know, they're going to get a measly, $7 per payer, maybe $13 per week per household. But at the same time, property taxes, state taxes, excise taxes on tobacco and alcohol, they're all going up. I mean, it seems like we're going to see a net negative despite the president's plea that he's trying to, quote, help the middle class.
Yeah, so much for this hope and change, right? I mean, after the last 8-9 years of spending, we're having even more of that. And how are we going to pay for it? Through tax hikes. So the taxpayer keeps paying more and more and more. And a lot of middle-income Americans live on the coast where the cost of living is higher. So they're going to get affected by this tax hike directly or indirectly. And they're going to wonder, why me? I'm not rich. I don't think I'm rich. But they're going to get hurt.
You know what? You're exactly right, Andy. And I've been talking about it and blogging about it a lot, the idea of a fixed number as being wealthy. Would you support an idea that would somehow, I don't even know if it's feasible, index wealth, the idea of wealth, to a cost of living index?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I myself and the Club for Growth, the group I work for, we don't believe in this class warfare argument. So anytime you can keep tax rates low for everybody, whether that's indexing the brackets or just pushing down tax rates, that's what we need to do. That will keep more money in the private sector and allow more people to spend money as they wish, not as Washington or lobbyists wish.
Well, I got it. Hey, listen, Andy, from basic budget, it's still got to pass, and I guarantee it's going to be tweaked. The one sector that will benefit is % budget jump, EPA getting more money. I mean, we're going to see much bigger government. By the way, a lot of those workers who are good women and men, but they retire about 8-9 years earlier than the private sector employee with really generous taxpayer-funded benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. Obama's got a big cap and trade proposal in here that's going to hamper the economy. It's going to put new restrictions on energy that's going to hurt. He's spending a ton of money on education, and while that's a good idea in theory, most people like to have education at the local level. We shouldn't send $1 to Washington, have a lot of that get chewed up by the bureaucracy, only to have a small percentage of that come back right to the community that paid it in the first place. So there's a lot of misguided proposals in this idea, and unfortunately, I think a lot of it's going to pass. So I hope that the American taxpayer right now is paying attention to the damage that's being caused.
Well, what you're going to have, Andy, is some people opting out. You know, they're going to say, I got a couple kids, I'm paying for child care. It's not worth it for both of us to work.
I want to be the first one in line.
I know. Maybe we should just go work for the government, Andy. I mean, my thought, hey, if you can't beat them, take advantage of it. Andy Roth, right. Club for Growth, thank you very much.